Welcome to the London Outlook for Friday, the 26th of January 2024. Starting off with the economic calendar, as you can see, there's only red folder news events for the US session. The red folder news events isn't as significant as something as GDP, interest rate, or unemployment slash NFP. So, having said that, there's no news related impacts for trading the London session, and we'll consider this news release when we discuss the New York Outlook. Then moving on to the daily chart, the thing to pay attention to is if there's any consecutive daily bullish or bearish candles, which would suggest that we should trade in one direction or the other. However, in terms of that scenario, there isn't any daily consecutive candles, so there's no bias to be forced upon us for the session. And then for the 4 hours specifically, nothing much has changed since yesterday. We're still reacting to this protein unconfirmed OB, and we're still reacting to this primary OB. So there remains reasons to both long and short until something changes. By that something, I mean, sorry, let me just get rid of these highlights quickly. Okay. What I mean by things changing would be we take out a substructure high or low, in which case we'd invalidate shorting if we take out this low, and we'd invalidate longing if we take out this high. But like I said, there's reason to trade both directions, so nothing major to concern ourselves with on the 4 hour. In terms of market structure, everything remains quite the same for this entire week. Then in terms of weekly bias, what we can see is that Tuesday put in the low of the week and Wednesday put in the high of the week, with Thursday remaining neutral. And thus we don't really have a weekly bias direction for Friday, especially since we don't have any consecutive daily candles to sway our bias in one direction or the other. Then in terms of the 5 or 15 minute, depending on your time frame preference, again, there's reasons to both long and short. I'll start off with the long. So we reacted to this primary proton previously confirmed for HOB right here, and then we've put in and built the secondary leg. The secondary leg has created the necessary IRL that we require for shorting, but perhaps to just stick on long trades, because we've built this secondary leg as a result of reacting to this primary 5 minute unmitigated protein unconfirmed POI that has invalidated the secondary leg. And if you pay attention to this note right here, it's essentially saying that longs will be validated either if we reset the secondary leg by coming deeper into this void OB and then building a new secondary leg, or alternatively we body break this level and extend the secondary leg, which would then validate continuing trading in the long sides. So there's essentially two scenarios to consider in terms of trying to catch a long entry, one being we reset and the other being we extend the secondary leg with a body break, and then we can look to find a long position to then ultimately target the substructure high right here. And then in terms of shorts, just to continue on the long note, I want to say that if there is an unmitigated POI situated, then there's a potential that a new secondary leg can be developed, again invalidating the secondary leg. However, it looks like once we body break this last primary unmitigated POI, there's nothing really to the left to hinder us, at least not until we get somewhat further into this 4HOB. So right around here, we'll face some barriers again, but once we clear this, then we can see everything is quite clearly mitigated. So there's nothing to concern ourselves with in that regard. And then in terms of short trades, that looks like what makes the most sense at the moment, because this is a secondary leg and there's a good chance that the secondary leg um, will actually not hold any value, given that we've revalidated a new secondary leg. So at the moment, coming into the Frankfurt session, there's only reasons to short, because of this new secondary leg validation. Obviously, in order to short, there's a couple of considerations we need to take care of. One being the previous session liquidity, i.e., Asia range will need to be swept on one side. And then if we are entering in Frankfurt, we need to ensure that our limit will be triggered before the London Open, or if it's triggered after the London Open, then obviously we need to wait for Frankfurt liquidity to be taken. And then the other consideration is having sufficient IRL and a triangle, but you can clearly see there is available IRL, with this being the ultimate target right here. And then once we reach back into this 4H barrier, then obviously shorts are invalidated. So I guess going into the London session, my summary would be primarily focusing on shorts, at least until one side of the Asia range is broken, or we get a body break suggesting that the secondary leg is back in action, in which case we'll consider longs. However, as long as we are still within this 5-minute primary unmitigated POI right here, there's still a chance that a new secondary leg can be developed, and we can take another short, which would then again invalidate this secondary leg right here. So today will likely provide quite a bit of opportunities. There isn't any red folder news in the session to consider, so trade according to your plan, stay focused, because we're in uncertain scenarios. There is opportunities, but you've got to tread carefully. Other than that, have a good London session, and we'll chat again for the New York outlook.